Hi, I'm Tian Zijun from Nanning, the capital city of Guangxi, and welcome to Xinhua Live. The otherworldly landscape of Guilin and the pungent smell of the stinky rice noodle are often the first thing that come to mind when people think of Guangxi, the autonomous region in South China and home to the vast majority of the Zhuang ethnic group. But for the upcoming International Museum dates, we are to take our audience on a guided tour of something a bit different, something less touristy, but more culture and yet authentically local. Museums are said to be the bastions of culture and history. When it comes to Guangxi, nothing speaks more loudly than the items that comfortably ensconced in the Anthropology Museum of Guangxi. Among all the various artifacts, one spherical object stands out, the bronze drum. And the museum even dedicates large portions of its second floor to this very object in question. Here we are entering the exhibition hall for the bronze drum. And to gain a deeper insight into this very important object, the culture of this object for the region and its people, we are delighted and privileged to have Mrs. Zhang Lun here with us, the bilingual presenter and an expert from the museum to help guide us in exploring this very important object. Hi, Mrs. Zhang.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to our museum.
So
yes.
I couldn't help but notice the outfits you are sporting.
Yeah.
You are sporting today. It's very distinctively ethnic, right?
Yes, and it's from the Zhuang people, an ethnic group in Guangxi.
Okay. So it's very exquisite in design, and the color is also very festive.
Yes, because I think this well fits the occasion today.
So can you start by sharing with us the origin story of the bronze drum? Like, how long has it been in existence?
Okay, the bronze drum, and actually that has a history of over 2,700 years ago, and it also has three functions, just as the musical instrument, the sacrificial vessel, and as well as the token of power, which means a symbol of ruling power. Yes. Okay, so why not that we come inside and have more looks? So many people will a little bit curious about the origin of the bronze drums, and that is actually the bronze drums was originated in the spring and autumn period. It's around the 5th to the 8th century BC by the Pu people in Yunnan province. And actually then you can find the size of it, and on our backside then you can find this. Here is a very particular bronze drum, then which is thinks to be the earliest module of the bronze drums. So you can see the bronze drums here. Then it looks like something like the cooking pot at the old times, and because we find some ashes of the wood on the surface, which shows that in the old times the people will burn the upside down. Yeah. So it's inferred that the ancient Southerners will try to put the cooking pot upside down, and then also will try to beat the surface of the bronze drum to make the rhythm, to provide the rhythm to their singing and dancing.
Originated from Yunnan province.
Yunnan province.
So were the Zhuang people among the first group of people who first made and used this bronze drum?
Yes. Then from here, then you can see that since the birth of the bronze drum, the Zhuang people or the Guangxi people is one among the first to cast and use the bronze drums. Yeah, and also during is the time since the bronze drum has been spread into the Guangxi and also assimilated to the local culture of Guangxi. And also they will have more inheritance and development in the process of assimilation.
So it's fair to say that the bronze drum culture is integral to the ethnic identity of our region, Guangxi.
Oh yes, that Guangxi nowadays is one of the main distribution area for the Asian bronze drums, and also one of the most popular area where people still use the bronze drums so frequently.
On our way here to the museum, I was told by my colleague that this very museum we're standing on houses the largest collections of bronze drum in the entire world. Is that true?
Correct. Then we have known that the Asian bronze drums have been collected by the major collection institutions in the world, such as the British Museum and the American Museum of Natural History and so on. But Guangxi then enjoys the reputation of the home to the bronze drums. And nowadays, then Guangxi possesses of a collection of more than 2,000 bronze drums and set a record. And also, as of 2014, the Guangxi Cultural Relics Institutions has a collection of 772 bronze drums. And our museum alone has a collection of 345, and that's make it the largest collection in the world.
Given all the numbers I have just heard, it's not overstatement at all.
Yes, actually, it's true.
Okay, Mrs. Zhang, I'm curious, how are they different from, how those bronze drums are different from the regular one we come across? I mean, I can clearly see that the humans and horse-drawn buggy, especially animals, fingering placed neatly around the edges of the drum.
Yeah, so welcome to the captivating inner world of our Asian people. And as you mentioned about the geometric patterns and also the three-dimensional adornments on the bronze drum, and those just show just something like the encyclopedia of the traditions and the culture of the thousand people, and will give us a glimpse to their vivid life.
Are they, indicative, those adornments, like you say, decorative pattern, are they indicative of anything significant culturally?
Yes, why not? Then we take this picture here. That is the dancing feather man and the racing dragon boat pattern here.
So that's a very important festival here in this region.
Yes, then because you can find that how the Asian people will give their sacrifices to the god of the river, just like that. And on other bronze drums, then you can still find the three-dimensional adornments like the frogs. That is a common sense. That's quite common on the bronze drums.
Yeah, you can't, miss the frogs.
Yes.
The fingering, the frog fingerings
Yes.
on the surface of the drum. I mean, are
Yes,
they?
Here,
Okay.
then you can find the frogs there
Okay.
on the bronze drums.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, they like the frogs. Then later we will see the picture, and where then you can find there is a festival we call the Frog Day.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So let's.
Just go to find it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, the frogs. I mean, it's the first time in my life that I see someone who worship frog that much.
Yes, so that is the Frog Day. That is the traditional festival celebrated by the Zhuang people living alongside the Hongshui-he River.
Okay, this is very eye-catching, this photo, especially this photo. It's apparently people are in the
Yes.
parade. There's a giant frog painted on the banner held by guys in the parade.
Yes, then you know that here the dancer is trying to dance like the frogs. And here to the next picture here, then you can find the drum beats plays a crucial role in the whole festival. And this festival will last about 1 month. Yes, and you have mentioned about many frogs, and also the frogs is quite important for the Zhuang people.
So why the frog? Why they chose the frog to be their spirit animal?
Actually, the frog is a very special thing for the Zhuang people. At the very beginning, the frogs is some kind of very beneficial to the crops. And second is that we have a saying that goes, if the frog croak, the rain is coming, just like that. So it will show the Zhuang people's wish for the bumper harvest and a good weather.
Okay. That's very interesting to learn about the animal and what it represents in ancient time. I mean, that's like the ancient wisdom in a nutshell, I think.
Yes, yes. And also on the bronze drums, you can find the two frogs together, just like the big frog carrying a small frog on its back, and which also shows the wishes of the drum people for a thriving population. And another reason we have mentioned about the frog is beneficial to the crops, and that's why it will win the heart of the drum people.
Mrs. Zhang, I've learned that we have something here in this very gallery
Yes.
which is on the Guinness Book of Record.
Actually, that is the king of the bronze drums, and that's the biggest Asian bronze drums in the world, and it's unearthed in our Guangxi, Beiliu city. Yeah,
Okay, so is this the one? Is this the original one?
yeah, it's original one. It's
So-
unearthed in the Qing dynasty.
Is that like a shining sun pattern at the center of the surface of the drum? So can you tell us a little bit about its pattern?
Okay, that on the surface of the bronze drum, then you can find the sun ray pattern, the sun with the A rays on the bronze drum. And also, if we come closer, then you can find the cloud pattern and thunder pattern on the surface, which just show the Asian people's sacrifices to the nature. And maybe I can give you some details about this bronze drum. Actually, we call it the king of the bronze drums because then it is the largest. And it's from the Western Han dynasty with the diameter 165 centimeter.
Then why people made such a large drum at that time?
Actually, during the 1 to 9th century, the bronze drum has become the symbol of ruling power. And we can find some evidence from the historical records, such as in the records in Guangzhou, it states that the bigger the bronze drums, the more power they present.
The bigger the drum, the stronger the power.
Yes, and also in the book of geographic of the Sui geography, and there also mention about the one who owned 1 or 2 bronze drums and was called Du Lao, and also admired by all without any doubts. And this all shows that at that time the bronze drum has become a symbol of ruling power. That's why the people will try to make a bigger bronze drums to show their power.
So after learning all of this stuff about the history of the bronze drum and the culture of the law, I mean, it kind of begged the question that how are those drums doing today? Are they still being used by people in Guangxi ceremoniously?
Yes, that that the bronze drum have been the distinctive, the symbols, cultural symbols in Guangxi. So you can find nowadays that many people live in Guangxi still use the bronze drums. And the customs that connected to the bronze drums still you can find during many important occasions.
As you mentioned at the outset of this interview, that the bronze drum culture are not exclusive to us, China. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about some other places outside China that have this bronze drum culture of their own?
Yes, then as far as we know that South Asian countries that still preserve the custom of the bronze drums, such like the Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, the Laos, still preserve this custom to beat the bronze drums. And also that in China, the culture of bronze drum has been further strengthened in recent years through the efforts in protection, inheritance, and development. A variety of works you can see here, including songs, dances, paintings, sculptures, animations, crafts, and buildings have emerged and also drawing inspiration from bronze drum elements and have received significant attention. As a result, the bronze drum has become better integrated into the lives of many ethnic groups and continues to shine in the new times.
Wow, that's really powerful. I think it's a perfect place to wrap up today's interview. So, Mrs. Zhang, thank you again for giving us a tour that has been both entertaining and super informative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, then also hope to enjoy your trip in our museum. Hope to see you again soon.
Sure.
See you.
The Bronze Drum exhibition is only one part of the Guangxi experience the museum has to offer. And there are still a whole lot of interesting stuff here that are ripe for exploration. Since its completion in 2008, it has become a popular destination for local elementaries and junior high school students to participate in extracurricular activities. From every Tuesday to every Sunday, when the museum is open, every exhibition area bustle with visitors. There are students in uniform, listening rapidly to the history lesson delivered by the museum staff, and there are also tourists with brochure in hand, leisurely stroll among various artifacts that vividly chronicle the culture and history of this region. I think that's all for today's Xinhua Live. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.